Okay, let's go. Looking at Driving School Series 1, a Python exercise from Codewars. Still in Codewars. Every month, a random number of students take the driving test at Fast and Furious Driving School. To pass the test, a student cannot accumulate more than 18 demerit points. At the end of the month, the school wants to calculate the average demerit points accumulated by only the students who have passed, rounded to the nearest integer. Write a function that's going to allow them to do so. If no student passed the test in that month, return no pass scores registered. And let's look at the example. You get an array or a list of integers, and it says that want to get an average of only the ones who passed. So to pass, you cannot accumulate more than 18. So that means 18 or less will be accepted. So you get an average of the 18 or less values from the list. Here we have 18 and a bunch of 10s. The 20s don't count because they did not pass. So getting an average of the 3 10s and 1 18, you get a 12. And it says rounded to the nearest integer because when you do the division, a lot of times you're going to get a float or a fractional result. So you round that to the nearest integer, either up or down, and there is the solution. So there's a backstory to this, but it breaks down very simply in that you get a list of integers. You get the average of the values 18 or less, and that's it. And there's another condition that says if there's no passing, you return a string of no pass scores registered. And there you go, folks. All that's left now is to do the code. Let's get in here and do that code. Hit up the training interface. This one will break down rather simply, where I'm going to use list comprehension to create. I'm going to create a separate list of only the ones who passed. So I'm going to do a filtering via list comprehension. And what you see here is using list comprehension to filter the list. If I encounter a value that's less than or equal to 18, I'm going to put it in the list. Otherwise, I'm going to ignore it. So this is going to populate this list called passed with values 18 or less so that I can then get an average of those values. And if you don't know what list comprehension is a Python construct that allows you to create and populate a list on a single line using a for loop. I've kind of memorized that definition, like a lot of things. All right. And so I can return here because I'm going to do the rest of the stuff on a single line, being Pythonic here, of course. So watch how it goes. And of course I will explain after I've got this all typed out, but it is easier to do so once I've got it all typed. All right, and I think, yeah, I'm missing an if. That's pretty important. Da-da-da. Almost said pissed. No, it's passed. Okay. All right, it looks okay to me. We'll see what it does when I run the thing through. But here's what I'm doing. This code right here is getting, well, actually, let's go general here. What I'm doing here is I'm using the ternary operation, and it's a conditional return, really. I'm returning one thing if the condition is true. I'm returning another thing if the condition is false. So my condition here, let me space this out, is if the length of the list of the passing scores is greater than 0, I'm going to execute this portion, this round. Well, this is really getting the average right here. Because what I'm doing is I'm getting the sum of the list divided by the length of the list, getting an average, and then I am rounding it using the round function. So that's getting the mean. So if the number of items in the list is greater than 0, I'm going to get, or actually return, the average after I get it. And then I have an else here that says, really, if the length of the list is 0, then there's no passing scores, and I'm going to return that. So I have a conditional return via the ternary operator. I was going to explain it again, but I don't think I need to. This is a video. You guys can re-watch it. So I have a tendency to repeat myself. Okay, so I got my return statement there, and I will go ahead and run it. And looks like I have a typo in my stuff here. Missing a period. So I'll run this again. There we go with that. And there we go with that. Now I have a passing score for my function that calculates the number or the average of the passing scores. This is Driving School Series 1 from Codewars. There's your code, and there you go. And with that, I am out.